Following program is produced and sponsored by you, the TBN partners, and is only made possible through your generous support.
Welcome to this edition of Join Our Town. I am your host, Lakeisha Carville, and sitting with me today I have Mr. Willie Stewart, the founder of Embrace Music Foundation. We'll be sitting discussing a very important topic, enhancing students' academic career through the cultural arts. Welcome, Mr. Stewart.
Thank you so much, Lakeisha.
Thank you so much for being with us. Here. Thank you for being with us on this edition of Join Our Town. We're going to jump right into our segment on this day. We're talking about enhancing the cultural arts within our education. I just wanted to basically allow you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little about yourself.
William Stewart. I used to be in a group called Third World for many years, 23 years. Had a chance to play with people like Stevie Wonder, John Wood Santana, Bob Marley. And all my life from I'm 6, music was part of my passion, and I decided in 1997 to study and be a music facilitator and share with youth, with the world, the importance of music from an education point of view and from music itself. So that's what I do, team building workshops and the programs Rhythms of Africa.
Okay. In the organization Embracing Music, you work with young people and helping them understand the importance and the cultural arts. You've mentioned working directly with them. Why is it so important to work to expose our children to the cultural arts?
Our kids has to have a balanced brain. The right and left brain must be balanced. If you have only academics and science, it's just one side. Music, it gets both right and left together. Children learn through rhythm. We need to develop the whole child. So it's very important that music education be given to them. It gives them a time to relax. And it has been shown in all clinical researches that music helps academics. Children who do music programs does great in mathematics and science. So it is an all-rounder. So I'm passionate about keeping the arts in our schools, because our children, you find that at-risk kids always are beaten. They're always getting in trouble in school. And, you know, not everybody learns the same way. Everybody has a different way of learning. And if you use music, you'll be surprised. Because the same children, it says, probably are not doing well in school, are F students. But they can remember 30 songs, lyric for lyric. What is this? So they learn in a different way. Music helps them to concentrate, develops their attention span. Because what the problem is that the teacher's talking and they're listening and they zone out, they're somewhere else. But music, you have to be in the present. You can't be thinking of this, and drums give you that. You have to. And so I've had students who come and they have a problem. They're F student, and after a year of training, they become an A student. So music is a very important learning process. It shouldn't be it should be as important as being a doctor or a lawyer or a scientist. It takes long to learn that art, but it trains your brain. And you're receptive and you can concentrate. It develops that part of you.
That's great to hear. I heard so many great things in what you've just said in regards to the rhythms and how it's a learning process which helps our children in the learning process. I mean to say, and in regards to that learning process, I've seen it in so many cases where our children, they can remember a song from the beginning to the end without missing one note, one word in that song. And I believe that it's very important, as you stated, in the educational system to implement the rhythms. And implementing the rhythms, we talked earlier in regards to Rhythms of Africa.
Right.
Tell us about the Rhythms of Africa.
Embrace Music, which is a non-profit, we have put together a program called Rhythms of Africa. It's where we transform at-risk kids who never are novices, who never had a chance in the inner city that never had the chance to experience music, never had a lesson, never, you know, they've never been exposed. We take them, train them for 2 months, maybe 2 hours each time in sessions, training, in percussions, and then put them on a show called Rhythms of Africa, which is, Rhythms of Africa itself is a journey from Africa to Brazil, Cuba, Trinidad, Jamaica, and America, with all of rhythm and blues to gospel and to the now. And so they get to play on a show which they've never experienced before with professional musicians. They shine. When they start, they're very nervous, and when they get trained, it's different kids. They're unbelievable. They come up and they shine, they can express themselves. They play and they feel like a team. So it's educational, because in playing music, there's mathematics, science, geography, cultural, everything they learn. So they're open, they're learning. And then they get, now this is a win-win situation, because then I provide the show free to the community. So we bring in these children, and they're being an example to the rest of the inner city community. Say, listen, you can do this way, we can be music. And what I'm saying is that if in 2 months we can achieve this, what about 2 years? What about 3 years if they had a chance? A lot of children get private lessons, but not everybody can afford it.
Yes.
But our children, Embrace Music Foundation wants to be that parent, that care, to give that embracement to this child and develop them so they can get. And what's happening now is that in Broward, we've lost 40% of our arts teachers.
Yes.
This means it's going to be harder for children to go to university. That means the only ones that get private lessons will be able to go, and the door will open wide for an education and a career through universities. So it's important that we embrace, and other organizations start helping the inner city communities, the Boys and Girls Club, all of these, YMCAs, put instruments in there. My thing is that let's put instruments in these situations, in inner city, since the schools are not doing it. Let us from the inner city get in there and help our kids and help them through music, to discipline them. And also after that, it's so great, because when you do it free to the community this way, people get a chance to come to excellent situations, to see the show. So you're bringing back families. You're bringing back from 1-year-old, 2-year-olds to 80-year-olds come. So it shows a family. They say, oh, but I know. And you give something in the show to help everybody. They can say, oh, I know this. So it brings back families. And the children are inspired by the musicians. The audience is inspired by everybody. And it's a win-win. We transform communities and the youth. And they tell each other. And they say, I want to do music. And that is how great it is.
And it sounds as Embrace Music Foundation is a very unique organization. And well, our children are receiving a unique experience. And I'm so glad to hear what you're doing within our community, because as you've mentioned, and we are aware because of the budget cuts and all of the short economic fall, so many programs have been eliminated within our school system. So our children does not have the opportunity to experience the arts as they should, because I a firm believer also that the arts should be a part of the curriculum. And with it not being a part of the curriculum day, you are offering that experience to our children where they can come and receive free lessons.
They receive the free for the training, and the show is free to the community. So we get sponsorship for it. And the most important part is that we give back. And I'm hoping that from this event, other musicians, so we're doing it from county to county. Then we want to do it, we don't carry it to state. And we want to make them, it's a large order, but I'm asking all musicians, calling all of them, that in their community, bring back, give back instruments, go in and take time, volunteer your time. There's older musicians that are sitting down, that are probably waiting to say, well, I have no more use. The youth will give you use. If they will just come back in, some of those 60-year-olds who's sitting down, who knows music, get back in the community. Let us get vehicles to give them some money to help them to move forward so they can teach our 7- and 8-year-olds. And we can make a difference, because with the economic climate of today, if we don't start looking on our youth, which is the future, we're going to be in trouble. We have to find, and music helps them. Music is that force that stops them from crime, and they love it once they can progress. And so it is important that we as a community and people start looking at music as very important. What would be the world without music? What would churches be without music? What would life be without music? It's a conduit. It's like water. It helps us. And I am saying, let us make a difference. We can make a difference in our children's life. And music plays a very important part in that. And education, because it will discipline them. They will stand up and they will learn, and they'll be able to concentrate more. I tell the teachers all the time, the teachers who are not, but they says, well, I am not a music teacher. You don't have to be a music teacher to be a facilitator. All you have to do is play simple games, 1 minute. And you can say, oh, we learn in science. And they're going to say, oh, we want to do more. Because why? That brain has gone into that thing where they learn songs. They like it. So it's like Sweetie. You get them a little, say, next week we'll do it again, but here, do geography. Watch how quick they do their assignments.
Mr. Stewart, I hear your passion and I hear your zeal for music. Why did you create Rhythms of Africa?
I created Rhythms of Africa because it is the fastest thing to see results. I did it because with all people who give you funding and people, they want to see proof. I want to see, what can this program do? You send someone to university, it takes them 5 years to get the degree, or 3 years. That's great, people know this. But Rhythms of Africa is a program that in 2 months, it shows the potential right there in your eyes. You see results. And from there, you can say, listen, arts is important. So my statement to all of the people and everybody is that let's keep arts in our hearts. Let's keep arts in our schools. Let's keep arts in our community, and we can have a better future for our children.
Okay. And what is the actual age range for the children that's a part of the program?
In the first one I did in Miramar, I did it last year, I did from the age of 7 to 13. This time I'm doing 13 to 16. Because these are kids now that you can change their lives there, because they're either looking to go into university or they're looking to do something, and you can encourage them and inspire them, empower them to do it.
And is this an after-school program?
It's an after-school program from 3 o'clock to 5:30 to a specific school. We're doing Lauderdale Lake School. We're working with them in Lauderdale Lakes, the complex smart school. We're working with 60 kids who never paid before for that.
Okay, and what about instruments? Are instruments actually provided, or is just the drums?
I bring all drums from all over the world. First, I give them a quick history and introduction, and they have to learn culture. They have to learn each country. They have to learn each drum. They have to know where it comes from. So they have to go home, do research to find out. And also, I have different speakers for our sponsors. We use different speakers to come and talk to them. Life skills. Why is it important to keep healthy? 15 minutes before. So we're doing 2.5 of training, but in that 15 minutes, you could come and talk to them as important. The people start talking to them. So we treat them as part of the family. After they do this, I want to do more shows with them so they can continue, have other instructors come on, maybe someone from Cuba will teach, someone from Africa would start, so the school now can have their own representatives, and they can do small, mini things, moving and exposing their community, their school. Is amazing.
That's great. I want you just to look into the camera and leave your information where our viewers can reach you and contact you. And because it's not a program that's geared only for our children, if I'm not correct, it's for adults also?
Right. The one Rhythms of Africa is for the children, and they can come to the show, but I also do team building. I do team building for workshops. I do everything for education. My name is Willie Stewart. You can get me at my email address is williamstewart2005@comcast.net. My phone number is 954-430-3027. And you can always look me up on Facebook, rhythmsofafrica.net. So that is, you know, I would be glad to talk, answer questions. I do team building, stress reduction workshop, Rhythms of Africa, you name it. Anything to do with music. I love it, and you will love it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stewart, for being with us today on Joy in Our Town and sharing that vital information, because the arts are important. It's very important, and I like what you're doing for our community, for our children. Drawing the arts, making it a part of their education, because as you've stated, it helps them, it compels them as they travel and transition into universities. All of this in which they're getting in their youth, they can take with them along their journey as they become vibrant and positive adults. And I thank you again so much for being here. Thank you for coming to share with us.
Could I say one more thing before I go? Could I say one more thing? Is that the show is at the Parker Playhouse.
Okay, thank you so much again, Mr. Stewart. This has been another edition of Joy in Our Town. I'm your host, Lakeisha Carville. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.